think we're going to go for an activity now. This has also been thrown by the technology, so it's going to be slightly different from the one we set up. I'm going to ask you in a minute to split into 4 groups. There's 2 hypotheses. Social media should be embedded in all courses, is one of them, and social media makes face-to-face lectures redundant. The point I was making by just doing that earlier on is that sometimes you might feel you still want contact with your lecturers, and if they decide to go remotely, you may not be best pleased with that. We're going to force you to take a for or against position and give us some reasons why you take that position. And we're going to ask you in the groups to have a debate for about 10 minutes. Then you're going to nominate someone who's got the confidence to come and give an audio feedback by another piece of media called iPadio, and that person's got to come back with 3 reasons, either for or against the statement you've been assigned. I just want to put into context the activity you've just done. What we kind of wanted to do, if we'd had a full response to the SurveyMonkey and had enough information about you, about your social activities, we were going to divide it into kind of activists and non-activists, or whatever you like to call it. So we also were able, with the SurveyMonkey tool, to look at the individual responses. So strangely enough, only 2 people ticked all the boxes as yes. They were doing all those things. And one of them, strangely enough, has the same name as the tutor for the Middlesex University students. So maybe it was you, Evangelos. But we didn't do that. What we were going to do is force the people who didn't have a lot of yeses in the responses to be the people who argued for social media, and the other way around, the people who had lots of responses to argue against. And it kind of just forces you a little bit to go perhaps against the grain of what your natural tendency would be in an argument about this particular topic. And I say originally we were going to use both text responses and audio responses, but the technology let us down on the text wall side and we weren't able to do that. But if we were in a real situation, we might have set that example to you remotely, asked you to do the response like if you had your group meeting remotely, we'd receive it remotely and perhaps respond to it in some electronic form as part of the process, and that's how we'd be using it. Kirsteen, I hope is going to be able to demonstrate how that might have actually worked.
So very quickly, we were able to record the responses that are now available on iPadio's website for us to listen to. Again, this is a free service. It's you basically create an account and are given a PIN number. So when you dial into the service, you enter the PIN number and you can talk through your mobile phone, and it'll be broadcastable from this website. So here's one of the group's responses.
So this is group 1, and our point is that social media should be allowed and integrated into all courses. Our first point is that if it isn't included, students miss a huge market gaps of opportunity in learning about how social media can help them harness those to the best of their ability. Our second point is that students already interact with social media, so why not teach them how to use it to the best of their advantage? And along the same lines, if you can't beat them, join them and show them the best ways how it can really increase their studying. Our third point is that it expands networking beyond the classroom while providing exposure to different industries, theories, and best practices that they may not have been able to interact with had social media not been a part of their course.
Okay, done.
Interestingly enough, at least 2 of the people, I kind of could overhear them being nervous about doing a talk down a telephone. They said they wouldn't have been if they'd just come back in the room and made comments in the room. Strange concept, really. Well, you're doing this all the time. Why is it so different? But, okay. Sorry?
Now I sound like an idiot.
No, you didn't. You did really well.
All the time.
You took it first take, all right? Someone else had 3 takes.
I had a few chances.
Okay. We're just going to kind of just give you a little bit of a flavour about what's happening at Middlesex University. Facebook is very prevalent at the university. There's a university authorised Facebook site. It's got 12,000 plus members. It's got something like 500 plus individual hits per day. It's quite a good forum for the students finding out what's going on. Things like when the snow happened big time in London, it just throws London communications completely out. And changing things on the website was not as easy as just putting messages on Facebook and people were able to find them. So it's quite an important means of communication. But at a more serious academic level, the librarians in EIS use Twitter and blogs to send out information about what new things are in the library, what things are going on, podcasts, interesting things in the media. And the next three are three examples of wikis, blogs and Facebook being used for real in programs in the university. So the wiki example is in biomedical science, and the tutor there set up the task for the students, asked them to do it as a group task, and wanted to make a comparison between traditional group work and coming back and giving a presentation, and then doing it on a social media tool like a wiki. And was interested to find out that if you gave a presentation, the groups wouldn't know what each other's group were doing until the day of the presentation. With the wikis, which were public and open, each group could see what the next group was doing, and it kind of made them think, oh, they've started putting videos in there, so we need to think about whether we need to do that. And it kind of raised the game across the board, and the result was some really good results for the students. The example for blogs is in professional practice, and again, the tutor allowed the blogs to be public. It made sure that the students were aware of the fact that they were public, but it was able to disseminate the people's reflections and views via that medium, and hopefully he argues in conversations and in presentations that there was a much better understanding of the subject matter. And finally, there's a Facebook example, which is an exchange course, a bit like this one here, where students on a nursing course might come from another institution to here. They don't know each other beforehand. They use a Facebook group to start that interaction well before they come. And there's something that might be of benefit to this kind of arrangement. Of course, we put you down as a leader in this field, Evangelos, because your degree is one of the first areas, I think, that's traditionally using these media in a serious academic way. Can I just very quickly ask if anyone wants to share any other examples of things that are happening locally, particularly if it's from Loyola, of institutions, activities on a social media level that we'd be interested to hear about. Does anyone just share something with us? Yes, please.
Loyola has an iPhone app.
Right.
So you can like...
Can you give us some indication of what things are available in that app?
Like directories, campus maps, like library hours, grades. Grades, you can check your grades.
Right, okay. So you can off campus, you can check your library books in and out, you can see if there's computer terminals or whatever, that sort of stuff. Yeah? Okay, I can put my hand up and say Middlesex will have one in about 2 weeks' time. Any others? Yes, please.
Well, some of the graduate students may not know about it, but last year I was involved with an effort with university recruitment with the class of 2014, actually. We would get them to join the Loyola Facebook page, and then they would already, before they even got to the university, be interacting with other Loyola students and other Loyola faculty. So, for example, whenever I would see something like a business student or someone interested in marketing, I would kind of hop on and answer some of their questions. So, so that was a new thing that was
okay, that's good. Try and link people with similar interests by that way. Yes, please. Yeah.
Along those same lines, I know Loyola is uploading videos from various students in various different areas of study, like the business school and College of Arts and Sciences and the different majors, so that students can click on the videos of these students talking about their experience with it and learn more about it and help them figure out kind of what they want to do.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, another one?
I'm not on the group or anything, but the GSB association that we have has been using Facebook to contact us about events.
Tell me what GSB is?
Sorry, the Graduate School of Business Association, and they have put up events on the posting and sent it out to everybody, and it's an easier way sometimes to find out about things and interact with everyone else in school.
Is there any one example of Middlesex people who've been undergraduates here who might have done stuff in their third year that's relevant they want to share with us at all? Or? No? Okay. Okay, I'll just kind of do two things to wrap up then, just to talk about the future. iPads possibly are going to be things that have an influence on the way that education is delivered, marked, whatever. We're doing a big project at the university on e-assessment and e-feedback, and some people think that iPads might be a kind of a panacea, that you can just download everything to your iPad and do it somewhere else, do your marking, do your feedback and stuff like that. We're doing some serious research into that part of it, but it is one of the things that is an agent of change that we should be aware of. One of the things that the university students at Middlesex should be aware of as it goes along is that we're moving possibly from the virtual learning environment, which is a commercial product called Blackboard, to what's called a portal. The portal idea will be single sign-on, all the things you might log into at the university, like MySys, the student records, your marks, your virtual learning environment stuff, your library stuff, will all be available through a portal, and it'll be much more like using my Yahoo or iGoogle or something like that, just to accumulate all the things that are interesting to you, in the same way as your graduate school was doing, I think it was, or you were doing. You could actually target people who've got similar interests and pull stuff from the various places that are interesting to them and launch it through the portal. So it's something we're working on. And it'll be this kind of seamless environment where things will not necessarily be named, but just be components of this environment. And of course, there's the whole argument about whether the Web 3.0 and the internet having a brain is actually going to make any difference to education.